Sophia's Symphony, The Journey from Silence to Global Stardom. Sophia Evans was born in the quiet coastal town of Crestwood, where the sound of waves crashing against cliffs and the cries of seagulls filled the air. But Sophia heard none of it. Diagnosed as profoundly deaf at the age of 2, her parents were devastated when doctors told them she might never speak clearly, let alone appreciate the beauty of music. Her parents, Elizabeth and Mark Evans, were determined to give Sophia every opportunity to thrive despite her diagnosis. Elizabeth immersed herself in learning sign language and enrolled Sophia in intensive speech therapy programs. Their small home was soon covered in flashcards, visual aids, and alphabet blocks as Elizabeth dedicated herself to helping Sophia communicate. Sophia was a curious child, often drawn to sensations others took for granted. She loved the feeling of rain on her skin and the vibrations of the washing machine in their laundry room. But it wasn't until her father brought home an old, scratched piano that she discovered her life's passion. Discovering music through touch. The piano was a second-hand find, its keys slightly chipped, but for Sophia, it was magical. She pressed one key and felt the vibrations travel up her fingers, into her palms, and through her chest. It was the first time she felt connected to something beyond her world of silence. Sophia began spending hours at the piano, experimenting with patterns and rhythms. She memorized the vibrations of each key and learned to recognize chords by touch. Her parents, noticing her fascination, enrolled her in piano lessons with Ms. Green, a retired music teacher. Ms. Green had never taught a deaf child before and initially doubted whether Sophia could keep up. But she soon realized that Sophia's determination and natural talent were unlike anything she had ever seen. She adapted her teaching methods, tapping Sophia's shoulder to keep time and using visual aids to illustrate scales and chords. By the age of 10, Sophia could play entire pieces by Beethoven and Mozart. She memorized complex compositions through patterns and muscle memory, feeling the rhythm rather than hearing it. Music became her refuge, a place where she wasn't defined by her disability. Facing challenges and the first performance. Sophia's talent was undeniable, but the world outside her home wasn't always kind. At school, she was often bullied for her hearing aids and speech difficulties. She felt isolated, but music gave her strength. Her breakthrough came during a school talent show. Encouraged by her parents and Ms. Green, Sophia decided to perform Debussy's Clair de Lune. Nervous but determined, she stepped onto the stage and let her fingers glide over the keys. The audience sat in stunned silence, mesmerized by her performance. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. For the first time, Sophia felt truly seen, not as a deaf girl, but as an artist. A video of her performance went viral, capturing the attention of newspapers, music foundations, and social media influencers. But fame brought new challenges. Critics doubted whether a deaf pianist could truly understand music. Some dismissed her as a novelty act, claiming her talent was more about sympathy than skill. Overcoming obstacles and breaking barriers. Determined to prove them wrong, Sophia applied to the prestigious National Conservatory of Music. To prepare, she practiced tirelessly, relying on muscle memory, visual cues, and vibrations to perfect her technique. The audition was grueling. Competing against students who had perfect hearing, Sophia knew the odds were stacked against her. But when she performed Chopin's Ballade No. 1, the judges were left speechless. They gave her a standing ovation and offered her a place at the conservatory. At the conservatory, Sophia thrived. She studied under world-renowned instructors and learned composition, conducting, and music theory. She began experimenting with blending classical melodies with modern rhythms, creating a unique sound that resonated with audiences worldwide. Her debut album, Resonance, topped classical music charts and earned her critical acclaim. Her performances at iconic venues like Carnegie Hall and the Sydney Opera House drew sold-out crowds. But Sophia wasn't content with just performing, she wanted to make music accessible for others like her. Innovating for accessibility. Sophia partnered with engineers to develop wearable devices that translated sound into vibrations, allowing deaf individuals to experience music in new ways. The technology was groundbreaking, earning her international awards and recognition as both an artist and an innovator. She also launched the Evans Foundation for Music and Arts, which funded music programs for children with disabilities and provided scholarships to underprivileged students. Sophia personally mentored young musicians, teaching them to feel music the way she had. Giving back and building a legacy. Despite her success, Sophia remained deeply connected to her roots. She returned to Crestwood to open the Evans Academy for Music and Arts, a school dedicated to teaching music to children of all abilities. Her story inspired a best-selling memoir, The Sound Within, and an award-winning documentary that followed her journey from silence to stardom. Sophia used her platform to advocate for accessibility in the arts, pushing for policies that allowed disabled performers to compete on equal footing. A symphony of determination. By the time she turned 30, Sophia had become one of the most influential musicians of her generation. Her groundbreaking work had redefined what it meant to experience music and proved that limitations were only as real as we allowed them to be. When asked about her success, Sophia often said, "Music doesn't belong to the ears, it belongs to the soul." Her story became a symbol of resilience, passion, and innovation. She showed the world that dreams could be achieved not despite challenges, but because of them. Sophia's legacy continues to inspire millions, reminding us that true art transcends barriers and that the human spirit, much like music, has no limits.